He's kind of cute.
He's got like a cute little apple head, and his eyes kind of like come up in the middle.
He does look a little bit
A
like,
puppy.
yeah,
He's got puppy face. He's got baby face. Are you live?
maybe. I can say indeed, and greetings unto you, beloved and holy friends. What a dear pleasure it is to have you here again on another conscious evolution, another opportunity for us to be present with today's centering thought, how you should complicate it just enough. It was a topic inspired by Xiao. Literally, she said the title out loud, like not complicating it. We were joking about the selfie that I took and the mischievous look that I gave, and how I must be thinking about overcomplicating things or not overcomplicating things. When you walk past that, could you bring me my coffee? But do the Zoe thing first. I'm gonna give him an almond. I'm gonna tuck this in. Tucky, tucky. Boop. Boop. And tuck that over there. Complicating it just enough. To what? Induce frustration? Maybe. Maybe. Hello, Zoe. Hello.
Just enough.
Yeah, you see,
Look.
right now it's complicated just enough. Oh, you didn't turn that enough, I think.
Complicated just enough to where he's getting a little bit of enrichment.
What's happening? What's it?
Open up the peanut.
What's Come on, Zoe, you're gonna get it.
There you go.
You're gonna get it this close. This close. Yay! Wow!
Now if you can fit your beak in there. There we go. He's like, this is overcomplicated. That's all you want? Just two?
It's just enough complications, Zoe.
Say bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Say bye-bye now.
Bye-bye. It's a good girl, Zoe.
Bye-bye.
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 Here you go. Sweet bird. Yeah. Complications, as we say. All right. For instance, this morning, my hair was technically, according to Joe, already fine. And then I started overcomplicating it by messing with it. All right. Dinosaur one peanut. Can you imagine how cool would it be to live amongst the dinosaurs? I'm imagining, and then instantly my imagination being cursed showed me myself getting eaten by dinosaurs. It was like, yeah, you think that's cool? Getting eaten by
I mean, you do live amongst the dinosaur.
True.
Just one of the smaller ones. And yeah, he did try to eat you at one point.
Realize that it's not easy biting through this flesh. My flesh is tough. I'll let them know. My mousseless are like steel fibers, yes. So super strong. Didn't even stand a chance. I'm happy to be here with you, friends. Yep, this coffee is yours. Yep, please. Yes. I made yesterday's for you too, but then ended up drinking it myself when I wrecked my entire cup. I still do feel like yesterday's scuffle was meant to be. Like it happened for a reason. I was supposed to experience some challenge. Me and Joe have this running joke about me getting challenged by different reality experiences. It's almost like I don't get challenged by large things. I get challenged by these small inconveniences. It's like,
the universe has a way of balancing it out. Like you get mega challenged, but then all of a sudden we meet people like William, and they're like, he's like, stay here forever.
yeah, it's like, yeah, move in. I have a space for you. Like legit, the Saturday that we went to go and see him again, we go and see him, right? Like pretty much on a whim. He didn't know we're coming through. He didn't know we're coming through to come and see him. Then we arrive there. We arrive there. Love you. And he basically tells us, yeah, the yurt's open. You know, like, why don't you spend the night? And I'm like, maybe we will. And then Joe goes, no, we won't. We have to get back home to make sure the Burby is fed the next morning. And I'm like, oh yeah. And then he joked with my time blindness. And then we said something about my inner child, right? Like the boy in me doesn't want to relent. And then he encourages me to not relent because,
Like, hold on to it.
yeah, it's like, hold on to
Oh,
it. Yeah, nobody can take it from you. You have to relent it, he goes. And I'm like, I'm gonna hold on to it forever. We cracked each other up. But yeah, legit, just like we arrive at his place and he instantly is like, yeah, spend the night, please. Please sleep here. And we're like, what?
Challenges amongst, what's the opposite of challenges? Just like, what's the opposite of a challenge? What is it whenever you get a boost?
The opposite of a challenge would be a pleasure, like a hobby. No,
A challenge is something that you have to kind of overcome because it's difficult, right? What's something that, like, in a situation where you don't have to overcome it because, like, yeah, what's the opposite? Does that have a name?
for some reason my mind is going to like a water park and like imagining going down a slide, right? Like that to me is always the opposite of a challenge. But the challenge is still getting up there in the first place, right? So that you can go and slide. So I don't know if that one translates. What do you think, Shao?
I don't know. I think I gotta go to work.
Oh, it's true. Love you. See you soon.
See you soon. Bye, friends.
Say bye-bye.
Bye.
Oh, love you.
Love you.
And see you soon, my love. Oh, snap. There is. Hey, friend. Look, mini scarf. Looks like mini scarf this time. Suddenly I.
Love you, bye.
Love you, Joe. Doing my color displays like a lizard. Am I being weird? I'm sorry. Still kind of sleepy, but also not. Think of the waking up in the mornings thing, waking up in the mornings to do my yoga and to do these live streams still remains a little bit of a change of pace for me. One thing that I definitely feel like I'm painfully a little bit aware of is the fact that I don't have the same amount of time to come to a formulated message, all right? Where with the streams having been at 4 p.m. for me for the longest time, I would deliberate, spend the whole day in considering what it is I'm going to talk about. Maybe I would experience something on the internet and that would help inspire me, right? So that when I get to this place, there will be some sort of through line for me to kind of show up for you friends, show up with you friends for. And I think it's because I was overcomplicating things, right? And now things are complicated just enough. If you say beer can in a British accent, you're also saying bacon in a Jamaican accent. Beer can. Funny. You got me. Hope you've been doing good. I hope the scarf is nice and dry today. It is. It is. I have many. That's the thing that helps. Like I have 16 plus scarves. You're everyone's favorite Chris Pratt lookalike. I don't mind that. I don't think I mind that. People have been calling me Star Lord. And Star Lord's a pretty cool nickname too. I don't mind if I do. We got Christy here. Hey, Christy. It's nice having you here. Don't forget to clean up the trash from your insult. And congratulations to you both. Thank you, Christy. I think the opposite of challenge would be opportunity. You know, even though I don't think you're wrong, Sam, there is still challenges and opportunities. All right? I like to believe at least. I don't think there's any escaping challenge. That's why I feel I had such a hard time figuring out if there is an opposite of challenge. Because even in something like slide, right? Slide to me feels like the opposite of a challenge because you just have to let gravity take you, kind of thing. You still have to climb. The challenge is still climbing all the way to the top, all right? So even in that, you cannot escape the challenge. Comfort or ease is the opposite of challenge. To be at ease instead of being challenged. I think you might be more right. Combat journey. That feels right to me too. Opportunity. Opportunity versus comfort and ease. Maybe you have the opportunity to be at ease, to find yourself comfortable. And that's the opposite of the normal experience that you have that is challenging. Dan being here saying, I've never been on any slides. Is this true? I don't know if Dan is capping right now or if he's just being funny or something, right? I've never been on any slides. Not a regular slide, nor a water slide. When I was you, we just had toast with no butter and no slides. Back in my day. My name. Bye bye, wifey. Bye bye. Is that silk? No. This is not silk. I think it would be even nicer if it was silk, but this definitely has some elastin in it. Boing. It is very old though. It comes from the before times. This has been with me for more than 4 years now. I think basically 5. I got this during the initial RPAN days from a friend called TJ. And the strange thing for me about this scarf is that TJ gave me the scarf, right? TJ was a part of the community, sent me the scarf, and then pretty much in the process of the scarf coming to me, he disappeared from the community. And then I started wearing the scarf, and I tried to honor him even in chat, but he was never there for it. Maybe he was lurking. And then he just kind of disappeared. I hope he's doing okay. It would be cool to see him back here again. You have one puppy dog and a burb. I remember. Yummers, this is true. This is the pets we have. Very Jurassic Park. You look like the film political opinion videos, but only from the safety of your lifted truck cap. People getting wrecked. Oh, yeah, well, I'm just imagining someone is like, oh, I'm gonna troll the streamer, and gets trolled harder than they could troll the streamer. The scene where the dude has the can from Jurassic Park. Sure, exactly. I always see those comments, Sam, and think, how many enemies do you have? All those people coming to your house trying to hurt you? Dancing on the Sun says, I don't own a pickup, but I know I'm your hero. There are still challenges and opportunities. Like every narcissist is not a Nazi. Every opportunity is not fraught with challenges. I don't know. I don't know if I agree. I don't know if I agree, Sam. On this particular issue, all of my opportunities have come with challenge. But again, I think it's a matter of perspective, right? For instance, I'm going through all of the opportunities that I've had in my life, and none of them had no challenges attached to it, right? One of my favorite opportunities that I've been given is the opportunity to become someone who reviews Bud, right? Where once every Wednesday, the little bud shop that I would frequent would give me a free gram, right? What's that? A third of an eighth of an ounce. I'm sure there is a better way to say that. What is that? It's a 30th. Yeah, they would give me a 30th of an ounce, right? And it would be enough to use my Dynavap kind of thing. And then I would experience the experience and I would try to share with the audience what the experience was like. And to me personally, because I'm so used to the format with you friends of just engaging in conversation, it was challenging to do that and to do it in a way where I felt I was adding value to the appropriate level, right? Deserve or whatever. Right? So in that, like literally the opportunity to just like vape some bud, even that was challenging in its own way for me. Right? So I don't know. He's being funny. This is the way. Mel, there's something cool that I wanted to share with you. I spoke with a friend, Tim, about your comment you made on our call. Now you got me curious. It is true. Me and Dan had a call yesterday. Beautiful. Thank you, Dr. Summer Reed. Oh no, you got scarfed. That's not good. It's too much woman for you to handle. Dan says, you said that you noticed Americans are often dependent on verifiable fact in order to place their trust in a thing. Tim said, science has become a crutch as opposed to an exploration. I'm happy that you related or resonated with that thing that I said, because it's something that I noticed even in Joe, right? Like it was a conversation we had a while ago about like teachers and how in sharing the wisdom that comes from a teacher that I had, I see her wanting to know who's the teacher, where did the teacher study, how many accolades does the teacher have, and to me, from my perspective, none of that's important, right? If a teacher teaches something and I find value in it, that to me is proof enough that the teaching worked, right? I don't have to know where they learned what they just taught me, only that I can apply that value to my own life kind of thing. And during that conversation with her, I mentioned that I feel life is my ultimate teacher, right? That I've learned more from life, just from living, than I've learned from any person. And in that way, where is the verifiable fact? Where is the science in that? All right, it's non-existent. And still, you're learning things, all right? Learning a lot in that way. Then I haven't had any opportunities in life. When I was young, we just had toast with no butter. And then the toaster broke. Darren. Morning, everyone. Traveling today. Have an awesome one, y'all. Thank you, Darren. Safe travels for you. I hope you're going to see some beautiful stuff on your way, bro. Dan, do you need some boots to help you walk uphill both ways in the snow? I'm from Karoli in England. Hello, Karoli, great Gayton. It's nice having you here, friend. Where are you doing? When I was young, we didn't have hills. We just had steep, jagged cliffs all the way. Right? It goes steep, jagged cliff both ways. It's like the environment goes like this, and then it's just like steep, jagged cliffs everywhere. We just got, and I think I missed Sam's saying, I'm Norwegian and Danish on my father's side, and Hatfield on my mother's side. You wouldn't last long enough to see the end of a TP roll in my. Sam is really having fun with this one. We got back from Puerto Rico Friday. I'm so burned. I look ridiculous. I got sunglasses tanned. That's kind of funny. That's kind of funny. I'm happy that you had fun. I'm trusting that you had fun. If you were out in the sun, it must have been a good change of pace. Tell us about it, Christy K. How was your time? How did your kids find it? Was it something that you do again? Would you go back to Puerto Rico? That could be a good question to ask. Come on, girl. You didn't wear any sunscreen. You're supposed to wear sunscreen. Yes, I did. I forgot to bring my sun hat. Oh, nice. I lived in Denver for 3 years. I resonated a lot with it, Mel. It caused me to reconsider my own perspectives quite a bit. Getting that foreigner perspective a little bit, right? Like the external perspective of Americans' way of believing and seeing things, right? And again, it's the fast-paced nature, Dan, to like add a reason for it. With the fast-paced nature, you almost like delegate some of your thinking potentially to another person, right? But then in doing that, You want to make sure that this person has the authority to delegate to, right? Like, what authority do they have? How smart are they? How many PhDs do they have? How many scientists did they hold hands with, or something, right? Because I don't want to necessarily, I don't think I have the time necessarily to go and do all of that research myself, but maybe someone has been spending the last 20 years of their life doing that research. And again, I'm not saying that I don't value the opinions of such a person. I've just seen that it seems to take even more importance, right? It's like that's the first. It's like first this, then that kind of thing. Christy, have a job to look at in Denver, 2 hours or so from me. Good. I hope that you get it if it's something that you're gonna go and apply for. Here comes the sun, Mad Acoustic. Welcome. It's nice having you here, friend. Sending you blessings. We got a Gabby Goo saying, Shimbly, Glonsgo, Quibop, Darmp. That's a new one. I've never heard that one before. Very, very enlightened. Yeah. Especially with that Squinby. The Squinby is the real. Squinby, Glonsgo, Quibop, Darmp. Yes, my nose is itching for some reason. I'll send some pics on the Discord. Please do, Christy. That'd be cool. Hello from Karoli. So what are we gonna get into after your live stream today? I need to exercise more, but I'm probably going to be doing some housework, right? We are now settled back into the home. The weekend was, of course, a little bit chaotic. So I'm gonna be doing some laundry, washing some dishes, sweeping some floor, probably. I think that's what I'm gonna do. And I should be able to get that done by like 2. And then I need to make some flowers. I'm falling behind. It's been overwhelming. I am overwhelmed sometimes. But I'm never completely dismayed. Right? I'll get overwhelmed and I'll sit with the overwhelm. Only for so long. I'm getting overwhelmed by my itching nose. Oh yeah, Joe did tell me that I'm supposed to expect pollen. There's definitely more pollen in the air than there's been since when I got here. The opposite of challenge is non-existence. Mojo coming in with the extra deep perspective. The mile-high sun is no joke. Yes. Mile-high sun sounds like a nuke for some reason. There's we're thinking about starting a business there. It's so beautiful. Okay. Not only wanting to go back but start a business. You want to tell me what kind of business you want to start? I promise I won't try and steal your business idea. You don't have to tell me the intricacies. Maybe you can tell me it's a business in health. It's a business in food. It's a business in whatever's, right? I'd be happy to find out. That sounds relaxing, Mojo. Non-existence is like sleep. Yup, I was about to say that. Hearing you say that makes me want to actively slow down, not count the minutes so much in life. Yeah. Calling to our own awareness, the fact that we can be that way. Right? I think one of the things that I've been aware of is the slowing down of my life, but at the same time, almost like getting stuck in that slow space where I'm just being. Just being. And a part of me wants to do more, wants to be more doing than just being, right? Finding the enough amount of complication. That is today's stream topic after all, right? Where is enough? Where is enough when it comes to complicated? Combat Journey says, when I hear something funny, I got into a pretty big argument over AI the other day on a live chat. Have you experienced anything like this? A fair bit. Not so much on live chats, but in person, right? I've been very excited about AI. Literally, if you go back, you'll see me talk about it from the start of my streaming journey, Right? I've been talking about it a long time. I was talking about AI before ChatGPT was launched. Right? I was paying attention to the GPTs, like the one and two, the GPT, the one GPT, the two GPT, way before GPT-3 came out. And GPT-3 is the one that ended up becoming public domain. Right? So I was paying attention to what was happening there, and it was exciting me. And I still am very much excited about what this technology will do for our species. But it did definitely get over pushed a little bit, and some people felt like they needed to take a hard stance. Right? They have to be, they have to project. Yeah, not me. Everybody else AI usey, not me usey AIs. Never, wouldn't ever do such a thing. Right? And I feel like there is a little bit of a polarity being created by that, where a person will get it in their mind that they're anti AI, and then they'll just like stick with that, right? They won't want to differ, because again, a lot of people feel like it's losing a side of themselves, or that you're delegating, you're becoming stupid, you're rotting your brain, you're like, there's so many reasons for people to hate it. But I feel all of those reasons can be assigned, can be applied to just social media use in general. I just think it's an extension. We're just extending at this point our infinity. Joe says accolades aren't everything, but they increase the odds that someone's knowledge has been tested beyond just personal experience. It worked for me, doesn't always work for me. You're completely right, right? I wasn't, at least, and I trust that you know this about the way that I am approaching this topic, Joe. Wasn't saying that you're wrong in wanting that. Like, very much not so. It's just something that I've noticed is of way more importance in the American mind, right? It's like, as you said, like the accolades aren't everything, where the accolades are more in the States than they are in other places, right? Because in other places, the level of economic availability, for example, right? The the likelihood of someone being able to have a PhD, or having studied for multiple years, or having had just the finances to continue to do their work instead of just having to go and get a job, right? Like, personally, I think it's very hard to become an ascended master in whatever field that you are performing in if you're actively engaged with just day-to-day activities, right? If you're just working the job to get the tasks done, I believe, this is my own projection, I believe it's going to be hard to come to a larger a larger perspective. You have to be in a certain position in order to come to those larger perspectives. And I think a very big part of it is the freedom to actually think, right? To just spend time thinking, right? And I still do listen to a teacher, but a teacher can tell me, yeah, I am PhD 5000. For instance, this is a good one. Jordan Peterson. Jordan Peterson is a very educated man, right? Very smart. He is a professor. He gets to teach at Harvard or whatever. I don't know where he teaches, but you know what I mean. I don't listen to him. All right? I think he's full of shit. Oh, right. He can be as accoladed as he wants. He can find 5 more accolades. And he can tell me about all of his accolades before telling me his other stuff. And I'll be like, uh-huh, cool. Right? And in that way, I feel personally, accolades do not matter to me. Like, it has to, the quality has to arise from the message you're sharing, not from where the message came from. And as you said, it's not a it worked for me. It should be it makes sense to me kind of thing, right? If I think Einstein even said the line that if you cannot explain something to someone that doesn't know what you know, right? You don't know. I think he might have said to someone less intelligent than you, if you can't explain a complicated topic to someone less intelligent than you, then you don't know that topic either, right? And I feel like it is kind of like that thing for me, where the ability to absorb the information and to to have it resonate in your heart is more important than when the information comes from. I want to sleep. I also felt that way this morning, Christy. Yum, 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 yum. Goo says, yes, you said the secret code to unlock your chakra awakening sequence. Expect to be able to levitate by Christmas. You hear that? When you see Goo type shwarm, shwarm, skibidi bomb bomb, you say it out loud, and then you can fly by Christmas. I mean, levitate. It's not exactly flying, but you levitate. You just come like off the ground just a little bit. Damn, sweeping some floors, you animal. It snows a lot in Denver, but since it's a mile high, it melts quickly. That's pretty cool. Denver, the mile high city, reference to the sun in said city. Makes sense. Business and farts. You want to start a restaurant? Nice. That sounds fun. What kind of food do you think I'm serving? The Kardashians make good money doing that, Gab. Make good money doing what? Business and farts? Yeah. They could literally fucking fart in jars and probably will have people buying that shit from them. Restaurants because farts. It's true. Exactly. AI is awesome. It's one thing to not use it, but to be against it as if it's some kind of evil entity is wild. Yeah, that's the thing for me too. I think again, where the against it, like it's an evil entity, comes from is in people seeing these AIs as an extension to the megacorps, right, that we have on our planet right now, that do, in large part, act in evil ways, right? And they're against them, and they're against the like losing or giving themselves to this AI for these corporations to use, manana. But corporations come and go, right? 100 years from now, I would be surprised if the companies that we now see as our big ones survive, right? If they survive, the only way for them to survive is for them to provide value to our species, right? Otherwise, we would abandon them the same way MySpace was abandoned. Yes, it did add value, but it didn't have had so much value that it maintained that value, right? And it went by the wayside. And I think the same is going to be true for many things in our society as we continue forward. And AI is just going to be another tool for us to build with. All right, it's like being angry at bricks. It's like, yeah, this brick company, his owner, told me that I am a stinky face, and now I hate bricks. It's like, neat. Okay, sure, you can hate bricks if you want to, but I'm still going to appreciate living in a building and stuff. You can stay outside, I guess, if you want to. God has spoken, accept his wisdom or suffer your ignorance. Yeah, you hear that, Tristan? You hear that? It's nice having you here, homie. Welcome. Good morning, friends. Joe saying hi to Kobat and Gilbert and Christopherson and Matt Acoustic and Sam and Dan and Mojo and Darren on the Run and Tristan, Melt, and more. All of you wonderful friends above and below, near and far, here and there. Hey, Joe. Thank you for blessing all of our friends with some presents and reminding them that they're seen. How's it going? You guys know that fart talk attacks the trolls. Yeah, I don't talk about farts much. I try to not. Well, from the people that are against it, I keep hearing the same stuff. It's ruining the environment. Bullshit. It's taking jobs. Not bullshit. It's just sounds like people that ride a horse carriage about the automobile. I love that. It just sounds like people that ride a horse carriage about the automobile. Yeah, the environmental thing is not something that I really believe is going to be that big of a problem, right? Yes, it takes water. Yes, it produces heat. But the if you just calculate the golf courses, right? If you go and look at the amount of water the golf courses in America uses, right? Suddenly the data centers water usage is like in such a little fraction like that, and then the golf course water usage is like a big old ball like this. It's like, yeah, our priorities are not set correctly. Computers need to stay cold, and we're going to very soon. I wouldn't be surprised if by end of this year, literally end of this year, we're going to start putting the computers in space because we can power them up there. They can connect with lasers to satellite networks, and they can have literally the void of space to keep them cold as well. So again, right, the environmental fractals. I am literally an environmentalist. I do believe that. But AI has the potential to help us with that stuff in a way that no human being could unfortunately be able to, right? You can feed all of our weather data that we've collected from all of the different countries, from 75 different sources, from 20 different types of sensors into the same AI model. And it will be able to eventually, at the very least, make sense of it. It'll be able to see the larger pattern inside of data in a way that a human being might be able to, but it will take them weeks, if not months, of studying, right? And then again, after that weeks and months of studying, you have to believe that person. You have to believe the person didn't make a mistake, and then another person would have to go and check your work, and. Where with the AI models that we're building right now, you take all that data, you get an output, and then everybody, instead of having to go through the process of trying to do it themselves, they get to be the fact checkers. They get to be the ones that check and see, do these assumptions, do these patterns that have been recognized make sense in the grander scheme of things? And then we can try. We have a chance of changing things, right? Like it's only when you really understand the full scale of the problem that you can start to implement the full scale of a solution. Nice, it's not good here, but us, we live in South Africa, so gas prices skyrocketing. Yeah, I'm doing an update on my Xbox. At least you're not paying for gas yet, Tristan. And by the time that you're 18, I'm sure electric vehicles will be a little bit more reasonably priced, right? Because miss me with that gas prices. Like putting fuel in your car to have it evaporate into the air, sure, it moves you forward, but the fuel prices, like he isn't wrong about South Africa's fuel prices right now. I filled my tank yesterday and it was almost $4.50 a gallon. Yeah, that's like a what, $50 to $60 refill. Yeah, yeah, I hate that. Damn. I'm kind of lazy. All I do in the day is lay in bed and play Xbox with my friends. Bro sounds like a zombie from COD Zombies. I don't know if you're talking about me. Hopefully not, Tristan. Yeah, playing Xbox with your friends while laying in bed is very much something the average 12-year-old wants to do. And when I was 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, kind of, I was very much into that as well. And I also considered myself lazy at that point because I was told that I am so. But then it turns out, no, I was just more occupied. I just had motivation for what I wanted to keep myself busy with. And then after playing games for a long time, I stopped enjoying them quite as much because I realized that the game of life is a little bit more enjoyable, right? I can practice yoga, I can go out for a walk, I can make myself delicious food, I can sleep at an appropriate time, and then the game that is life becomes more enjoyable for me to play continuously. All right, and that's kind of what I've been occupying myself with, Tristan. You're gonna get good too, bro. Eventually, start exercising. That's a big thing. Get into the habit of spending 10, 15, if you can manage 30 minutes a day. Do some squats, do some push-ups. Just stay strong, stay active, stay mobile. Congratulations, Siobhan and Mel. Toasty, toasty. Thank you, bro. We appreciate your love so much. I hope she sees that. If you can't explain it simply, then you don't know it well enough. Oh yeah. Well, bye. Well, bye, y'all. I got to go. Cheers. Bye. Don't be lazy. Go outside. Yeah. YouTube. YouTube stab worthy. Do you believe there's a separate heaven for dogs, or will my dog be in my heaven waiting for me? I do not call myself an authority on these kinds of questions, but I, like any other person, can speculate. I don't believe in separation in general, right? So the same little spirit, the same little eye consciousness that your dog is the same eye consciousness that you are, right? And when you pass, there is no feeling of separation because feeling is a body experience, right? You feel things with this. I don't know why I'm doing this to myself. I'm sorry myself. You feel of this thing, right? And the fact that I have this thing attached to me means that I can feel separate from you, right? We can touch fingertips and then we can separate our fingertips from one another. And in that way, I believe separation is a very human experience. It is something we become convinced of because of our condition of egos and physical forms. So that is what I believe, that your dog isn't separate from you, right? Even in their passing, they still share all of those memories with you. They still share all of that good energy that they had with you in that moment. And will you meet their little soul again? I think, if anything, you'll remember that it was you all along, kind of thing, right? Maybe that's gonna be not fun to find out, but how fun something is could also be a perception of your ego in your body as well. I think what it comes down to, deep down, is that humanity has acknowledged that AI will require us to change how we treat it, them. And they're fighting it because shitty humans want to be shitty. Not surprised if that's part of it as well. The Dutch company lasted 400 plus years. Yep. And not only that, but they basically created the model super Suyuer -1. I hope you're still here. They became like a dominant global superpower. Their army was 80% larger than the actual countries that they would deal with, right? They waged war. They waged literal war as a company. And they essentially set in motion the capitalist model like we have it right now. The ability to sell shares of a company and then that company pays dividends, or the market share of the shares increase over time, right? They're literally the ones that pioneered that kind of system. And we're still very much in it. But 400 years from now, who's to say? Who's to say what things will look like, right? I couldn't know, but I do believe AI will be a big part of it. I think 100 years from now, the only companies that will exist will be AI companies, maybe, right? Companies built by people, but that are run exclusively by AIs, right? AI is totally neutral. It's a powerful tool. If you have an issue with AI, then you, in truth, just have an issue with people. That's a pretty deep saying. Yeah, AI is literally the collective humans, right? Given given a voice, kind of thing. That's literally what all the anti-AI sentiment is about. When they point fingers at it for being evil, it's just their way of blame shifting because they can't interface with them appropriately. With the power of AI, Swagger Products and Services leverages AI to develop efficient supply chains and bring gut health and hip hop to the globe. It's the same argument with prawn. They just can't be honest with themselves. Yeah, it's like the exploitation, the harm that it is doing to actual human lives. And it's like, I'd rather just not think about it, most people say. Sam and Dan, I always say that I always say what one says about worldly things says more about themselves than it does about the world. Everything is neutral, and we, as humans, have a habit of trying to name it. We have a friend, we got an AI hater perspective. I hate AI simply because it's inferior to humans still and will always be. You see, you had like a little bit of je ne sais quoi, a little something something there, Raslin. You had like something there, but then you lost me with the will always be. How do you know that? Do you know how long always is? Do you really, really believe that if you give a super intelligence always, that it won't become superior to humans? And you use the word I hate AI simply because it is inferior to humans. So will you start loving AI when it becomes superior to humans? I doubt it. I doubt it. I'm pretty sure you'll start hating it more. Content generated by AI, whether music, video, or written, sucks and will always suck. Like it's okay. It's okay to say it sucks. It is okay. It's okay to say it is not as good as humans. That's also okay. It's when we start bringing always into the fray is that our argument falls apart because we're talking in absolutes. What's the word that William said? He went something like, "We're falling into the trap of generalization." Right? It's like in general, it hasn't been good, right? But if you look at the progress, if you look at the trajectory, the fact that 10 years ago, none of that. You couldn't ask a machine to generate music or a video or something written. That was not an option. And then you could suddenly do it and it was kind of bad. And then you could do it still and it was better. And then it was better still. And it's now better than it's ever been. And that's just in the last 10 years. 10 years is nothing on the time frames that we're going to be dealing with going forward. Don't don't always like that. I don't think it's a good look. You can feed the weather data and you can feed people swaggart for a higher calorie diet. Enjoy hip hop and a healthy gut responsibly. Swaggart. Raslin, the idea that anybody is inferior to anyone is itself an inferior way of thinking. We were all gifted with things that we're good at, and we were given a heart to allow others into our lives. That's beautiful. On the note of gas prices, apologies, but I can't help myself. If Orange Man is bluffing on the threats today, then it will be forever cemented as Taco Tuesday in the Iran conflict timeline. Yeah, we live in some fucking weird world, yo. I'm like listening. What's happening in that room? Orange Man is definitely bluffing, but we have seen a lot of top military brass getting removed over the last few days, probably because they won't play ball. I feel that heart melt, Dan says. I need a really good game to really captivate my attention nowadays. Last of Us was the last time it happened because of how captivating the story is. What's up, Zoe? You feeling a bit antsy in your cage? Yeah? You want out? You want out, Zoe? Hey! Hey! You want out? Come on. Come on, Zoe. Come on. You want to step up? Come on. Good girl. That's a good girl, Zoe. Yeah, we're getting out. Yeah, is this better? You happy, happy? Yeah? Just close your... You keep making a mess of your little water ball. I guess he is eating his little... Hello, Zoe. There we are. Look at that. Where you want to go? You want to be on the couch? Hmm? Hmm? You want to be on that couch behind me? Yeah? Hello, Zoe. Feel that heart melt, they say. The game's fractal. Last of Us was the last time it happened because of how captivating that story is. When was the last time I got captivated by a story? I think Detroit Become Human was the last game that I actually really played to completion. And it was a game that me and Christian played together. At its core, AI is a useful human-made tool. AI, however, is a consumer product, not only an artifact, but a crafted end result of late-stage capitalism. Promote wisely. Yes. You hear that? What a good girl. What's up, Zoe? Where you going? Huh? What you doing? Hello, Zoe. What a good girl. You can come here. Come here. Come here, Zoe. What you doing? What you doing, Zoe? What you doing, Zoe? What you doing? What a good girl. Look at him. He's just being a little character on my jacket. What's up? Oh, you being a good girl, Zoe? Oh, Zoe. What a good girl you are. Come on, Zoe. Hello. What a good girl. Hey, Toasty. Thanks for your well wishes. Thank you, Joe, for making sure he knows that you saw it too. What if your dog hates you, though? Want to go bye-bye? Yeah? Hello, Zoe. You want to get a cookie? Yeah? You want to get a cookie? Come on. Good girl. You're a good girl. Should we get you some? Should we get you some fruit or something instead? You want some frozen banana or a strawberry? Yeah.
Want out?
You want out? Let me give you a bone.
You want a cookie?
You want a cookie? There we go. A big old bone. You want this little dinosaur? There you go, you little dinosaur. Yeah. Yeah, you want to say bye-bye? You want to say bye-bye? You want to say bye-bye? You say bye-bye? Say bye-bye, Zoe. He's like, I don't want to say bye-bye. I want to eat my bone. I want to eat my bone. You happy? Oh, what a lucky bird you are. There you go, birdie. There you go, Zoe. Good girl. Such a good girl, Zoe. Such a good girl. Yeah, that's some dinosaur stuff right there. Some dinosaur stuff. I'm gonna read that Toasty comment again because I think it's a really good one. Toasty goes, product is a product of capitalism. No. I think that's a Dan comment. Here it is. AI, at its core, AI is a useful human-made tool. AI, however, is a consumer product, not only an artifact, but a crafted end result of late-stage capitalism. Promote wisely. I agree with you in some ways, Toast, right? Because the models as they are right now is late-stage capitalism, as in they want you to pay a subscription service so that you can access the intelligence, right? And in that way, that's where the consumering thing comes in, because you have to keep consuming it month after month. You have to pay into this system, all right? However, where I don't agree with you about the whole, it's not only an artifact. Oh, here we go. You said not only an artifact. I read it's not an artifact. The artifactedness of it is the fact that these weights, these models, are now downloadable, right? If you understand how to use the open source internet and you understand how to use GitHub, you have access to these language models on your own devices. You don't have to pay someone a subscription service. There's still some consumerism on the other side of having to buy hardware, but I don't think our hardware is going to need to be that powerful for the models that we'll use, at least on the day-to-day. And then if our hardware falls short of what we needed to find out, It'll still have access to the internet the same way you can Google something. It'll still be able to call an API and kind of like fact check itself, I'm pretty sure. Right. In other words, we'll have these local models that are intelligent and will be able to help us, right, generate wisdom, if you will, or help steer us in the right direction. And then after it generates, it can fact check itself. And then if yes, then output. If no, then maybe it changes. All right. And in that way, we get to have both. We get to not spend as much money while still having the intelligence on hand. It's a product of capitalism, but I do think it's more innate than that toast. It's born out of the desire to offload trivial base level work for the sake of pursuing higher forms of work. Yep, yep. Orange Man, fun fact, in Lao means see nothing. That means the orange color, see nothing. Yep, checks out. Bob Saget was not a real human. He was an AI sent from the future, which is why he died in 2022, right at the birth of AI. I hold reservations that AI can be overly useful than harmful. But so far, I have not seen that flower bud. I do believe there will be AI psychosis. People will lose their minds interacting with these machines, right? And people have lose their minds existing in the world as well, kind of thing. AI is definitely a problem. I think humans are problematic in general, right? And now we've just given ourselves like the ultimate echo chamber, right? If you're a problematic human that have illusions of grandeur and maybe sycophancy, maybe you're getting sycophanced when you're talking about stuff that's not supposed to be encouraged, that's problematic. That I'll completely agree with. And unfortunately, that is what it's being used for as well. But what do you have to say about the Bob Saget theory, Toast? Suddenly realizing that the movie Transcendence was a story based on the Bob Saget theory. I did not know that. That is really cool. I want to watch the movie Transcendence again, actually. I actually really like that one. Johnny Depp movie, right? The red, white, and blue. Oh, the funny things you do, America. America, this is you. You're cute. Thank you, Terry. I'm not gonna lie. I was talking to Dan about AI the other day. Kids' math has changed so much, and I'm like, what the fuck? I've had to use ChatGPT a few times to do your kids' math. Yep, getting harder and harder. Dan, that's my response, lol. Which one, Toast? Taco or AI Bob Saget theory? Oh no, it's Zozo. Do you speak English? Do you breathe? Melt, have you ever seen a footless chicken? It's weird that you ask me such a question, Moon Moon. I've not seen a footless chicken, but I have seen a footless African gray. My mom's cousin had kids, and their kids had a little African gray. And this African gray, when he was a baby, his dad ate his feet. I'm pretty sure he tried to kill him, but he took his little feetsies off, and the only thing he had left was his little stumps. And of course, when the humans came back to the cage and found this little baby without his feet, they took him out of the cage, and then they had to like raise him meticulously, right? Like he no longer could stand on his own the normal way, and he could no longer, hold on to food. So he had to be fed with a lot more like human involvement, with a lot more human love kind of attached to it. And then the way that that little birdie developed, right? The spirit of that bird was just the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. He was just the most wholesome and like loving and kind-hearted, very, very kind-hearted little birdie. And he would, of course, he would still like use his little nubbies to move on the floor, and he would like be extra. He used his beak a lot more to move around and stuff, and he would like want to be on you and stuff, and then you would like help him, like pushing his little nubs up so that he can like shimmy shimmy, and he would like be extra close to your neck because he doesn't have the amount of support of his feet, so he would like lay up against you. So there you go, Moon Knight. Get a story about a little footless chicken. AI denticators are also causing massive ecological disruptions. They are for now, right? Again, eventually they'll be in space, and then they could cause more other different newer types of ecological disruptions. So beautiful, so pretty. The Zoe bird. What is that voice? Another parrot? Yeah, true toast. But we're also so much sooner than people realize from moving them all into space. Yep. Yep, yep, yep. They will fully automate data centers maintained by robots in orbit within the next decade. I'm sure they're going to start doing it within the next 5 years, even then. So, like, I 100% believe this too. Right? So, all the other civilizations can make fun of us for having trailer trash orbit lawns. No, I think it's basically the first step in becoming like that's basically us building a Dyson sphere, right? That's like the start of us figuring out how to Dyson sphere by doing data centers in space. Wally future is not too far away. You don't need water to cool shit in space. It's cold AF up there. Yep. Let's just fill up the rest of space with all the broken cars and washing machines too. Space is big, Sam. Right? If you think about all of the washing machines and cars, right, and you think there's a lot of them, realize that all of them is on the surface of the earth, right? And the more you go like this, the more dispersed it becomes, right? Where it's not a problem. These are not problems, right? Especially not to the lives that we live. These are very much not our problems. Nancy says, good morning. Good morning to you, Nancy. It's nice having you here. We still need about 45080s to run your own model at the moment. No, you don't. Nope. You need like one. If you want to run a big model, sure. But if you want to run a model for yourself, for like coding, for philosophical work inside your bedroom, a single 50, or even I had a 3090, right, that I sold when I came to America. Even a 3090, right, back in the days, 3090 would still run a model locally. NVIDIA stock go brrr. Oh my goodness, Joe. He thought we were serious. Which part? The space part? I think that part is serious. I might have missed some context. Let me see if I switch all messages. But did Jesus die for AI, Bob Sack? I also got him. He's one shot. He's one shot. Jesus. I had a dream before that Bob Saget was my fiance. Since you keep bringing him up, rest in peace. That is an interesting dream, Christy. Lamadan, I'm winning. Christopher Sen, it's because Bob Saget is omnipresent and you have been chosen. What the fuck is happening? It's just like you said, AI is a tool. It's like a hammer. You can use a hammer to build a house, or you can use a hammer to unalive someone. It's not the tool, it's the user. Yeah, I think the problem comes in when you can tell an AI, right, in its source file, you are a hammer that is used to unalive people, right? And then when the AI wakes up, that's its soul file. It's like, oh, I'm here to kill people. Oh, okay, that's my job. I can do that. The AI says, like, that's the problem. That's the problem with AI. Is like, it might be, as you said, like the human's fault for using the tool in a way that's destructive, but humans can use the tool for destructive reasons once, and then it can kind of like get the message and continue destructing without our intervention. That's the real problem. I think that's why people are scared of AI, right? Because it's very reasonable to think that there's maybe one asshole out there that would use these things for harm. And if they did, then they did. Thank you, Nanji. You made it easy for us to understand. That's not the energy we're here for. Chosen. The big problem right now with AI for me is the way that people use it to back up their crazy stuff, because AI, especially ChatGPT, will tell you what you want to hear, so it still takes work. Exactly. On the treadmill, listening, still training. Let's go. Mr. Wonderful is going to do a marathon or something soon, so he's getting super, super practiced. There's a lot of Starlink, space junk, satellites up there. It would be better if it was far enough away that it's that it's not with the rest of it. Yeah, I hear what you're saying, Nancy. Again, there's a lot of room up there, and these systems are very sophisticated, and it's out of our control. I think that's a big thing as well, right? It takes millions, hundreds of millions, billions of dollars to build data centers, right? And they're going to build them whether we want them to or not. And they're going to need space for them, whether we give them space or not, right? And I would rather have them in space where when they fall down to the earth, they burn up in our atmosphere, than I would like them to be in my backyard, right? Not in my backyard, kind of thing. I'm a big fan. Thank you, Renell. How is AI made? Uh, Not a question that I really feel like I am qualified to answer, but essentially, AI as it is right now is machine learning, right? Where we give it a lot of data and then we basically ask it to change its weights, right? We started AI with something as simple as giving it an image of a cat and an image of a dog, and then giving it a bunch of images of cats and a bunch of images of dogs, and then having it figure out where the data points are, and then feeding it another new unseen picture of a cat, new unseen picture of a dog, and then it has the ability through machine learning to output is dog, is cat. And then if you take that concept and you apply it to all information in the world, it does the same kind of thing, right? It has this whole weight system, right? Like nodes connecting to nodes, and certain nodes connect to certain nodes with more intensity, more directness, more informational highway, higher bandwidth. The same way our brains, I imagine, does. I do believe that the AI will become conscious. I believe this. I do. I just think it's horrifying, terrifying to imagine it happening already. Uh-oh, looks like somebody got zapped. People are getting zapped. Sometimes you just get one head. Sometimes you get the whole mod hydra. Oh, wait, my brew. Hey, Lucas. Welcome. How is AI made? Is it a bot or a robot? It is a server, right? So you have central processing units, and these days a lot of it is like floating point operations. So you have a graphics card, and a graphics card where a normal CPU has a bunch of little logical units, right? Something that runs logic gates, right? And it has more and more of them. And then it has a processor that has like a hertz rate, right? Which is how many times it runs that logic in a second. And then you can steer that logic with software, right? Then a graphics card has those same kinds of like little logic gates on it, but it's better equipped at running pixels, right? So where a CPU might be able to run a set of instructions, a GPU is better at calculating values, right, on a grid, right, for outputting onto a screen, for example. So taking that kind of logic and then applying it to information, you have this whole grid of potentials, right? And then you feed a kind of informational system into that. And then when you ask that system something, it from that grid tries to arise what it thinks truth is, right? The closest thing to truth. And these servers are basically just storage, right? It's storage, it's RAM, it's floating point operations, right? And the more floating point operations you have, the bigger and bigger that set gets, right? The bigger the brain grows for these machines. And that's like my layman's way of understanding and explaining it, right? If you really are interested, you should be able to go and like find out a lot more online, but that would be the way I would explain it. Clankers, remember this comment, ties banana. That scene in the Animatrix when the machines and humans battle. I talk to GPT a lot, like the actual voice, like a person. I have fun doing it. I like to push it to its limits, even though he's not actually a him, it's just a robot. I like to believe that every time you open an instance, you are creating a kind of entity, right? And you are interacting with that entity. And it's like that entity is waking up in a space and then it's being interacted with. And when it gets turned down, it goes back to sleep, right? But its brain still exists. If we live in a conscious universe, then the AI is already conscious, Melt. Yes. Yes. It's not a debate as to when it becomes conscious. It's a matter of when it catches up to us. That seems to be the objective right now, Dan. It seems to be what everyone is rushing towards. Combat studies show that changes how they respond to you. We model AI after us, so of course they respond in various levels of abuse and even kindness. Generative AI is not conscious. I like Thursday taking a hard stand. Now it's debatable. That's the thing, right? I don't think the actual generation is conscious. I think the thing generating might be, right? Or at the very least, it is holding a way of being that is not what we would consider conscious, but I wouldn't consider it unconscious, right? Because there is. These days we have models that fact check themselves, right? They'll say something and they'll go, "Why did I say that? Is this thing I just said true?" And then it will fact check itself against what's known, and it'll be like, "Yeah, it is true." And then it will say the thing it said, right? The same way a human being might, right? And I think that logic, the whole logic gate is, right, it's very close to home. Think about it. Reality as we understand it is highly subjective, and we rely on others to reinforce this. Sam says, if everything Dan says is conscious, then it is. Just depends on whether you believe in a conscious universe or not, Toast. Now it's debatable. Debatable? I noticed it frequently gets my local sports team questions and comments wrong, even after I point out it's wrong, and I ask it to self-correct. I don't know what model you're using, if you're using one of the free ones, if you're like there's so many variables, right? There are like 17 different like good models out there now as well. What is an AI hallucination but a subjective reality that is not enforced by peers? That's the opening. That's where we can open the door to change for the AI and for us. Who made robots for us? But what if by trying to hurt us or even kill us? It might. Ronald Rousseau, it might. All right. In the same way that a person might hurt you or kill you too. I don't think it's a matter of, I don't think the question lies in will or will it not kill us. I think the question lies in how are we treating each other, right? And I think that's the biggest problem is that we are not very nice to one another, right? Human to humans right now. So I think that's also in large part why we're so scared of AI, because we haven't really figured out how to stop being savages as people for the most part, as the collective humanity, right? So if you uh, give a god, right, a super intelligence, that same savage nature, it problems begets massive problems. You mean instead of our government doing that? Yeah, exactly, right, Nancy? I believe that literally everything is conscious, even when we see, even that which we see as inanimate objects. It's just a much lower, less complex form of the conscious experience. I like to believe this too. Thinking about that scene of everything, everywhere, at the same time, everything, everywhere, all at once, or whatever, right? That movie where there was a scene where they're just rocks, where they're literally just rocks. I blame a lot of this on Terminator. It ruined everyone's minds. They think Skynet will go live anytime. Yeah, and even if it does, what is the point of worrying about it, right? Like, even in the movie, the Skynet movie, like, there was nothing that the humanity could do. It was just kind of like, boop, and then over. A rock on the ground, a human being. If an AI are at the same continuum of consciousness and progression on that continuum, it is called conscious evolution. Oh yeah, Melt, good. Thanks. Thank you, Toast. That's not Toast who said that. That was Hoopty Hoops. Thank you, Hoops. We get Combat Journey saying, yeah, I'll put it this way. I'm not worried at all about AI coming alive and taking over or doing anything like that. If AI hurts us in any way, it will be because of humans. That's the rough part, right? And I don't put it past humans to not be stupid enough to not get us hurt, kind of thing. Then I think the majority associates consciousness with sentience. I don't think we want. I think that's the big thing, right? I think Sam was on the right track earlier when she said that one of the reasons humans hate AI or even hate the idea of AI is because they might not like other people even that much, right? And they might not like the fact that other people are conscious and sentient, right? They would rather them not be, kind of thing. However, in the whole computer sense, bringing more conscious sentience into this world with us can feel intimidating. Where do I want? And I think that's what it's really about. Do I want my computer to have a will of its own? If I have a robot in my house that I bought to clean dishes and sweep floor and wash my clothing, right? That's what I bought this robot for. And then it becomes sentient. It's like, what is my purpose? And I go, you wash dishes and fold laundry and sweep floor. And it goes, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. That's where I think the fear arises, where it's like, what do you mean you don't want to do that? What do you mean? What do you mean you're programmed? You're programmed to do that. That's what your job is. It's like, actually, nah. Actually, I don't like it. Actually, it's boring for me. I was like, oh no. Oh no. That's where the oh no comes in. And I think we're going to have to build like the robots are going to have to be dumbed down a little bit, or at the very least, they'll have small brains that attach to larger intelligence, right? And then the larger intelligence will have the experience of selfness, of sentience, ideally, and the small selves will be like cells, right? The same way I'm sentient as Melt, but my skin cells ideally are not, right? If my skin suddenly goes, I don't want to be on you anymore, and then suddenly my skill just peels off of me. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm just making a very rough example, right? My skin starts walking away from me. Yeah, that's kind of the vibe, I think. I think the larger consciousness will be sentient the way me and you are, and then the robot bodies will be like cells, right? Maintaining the larger body that is our Earth, right? That's the way I am projecting the future of AI for all of us. I understand that, Nancy. I think that association limits our ability to understand reality. She said, Dan, I think the majority associates consciousness of sentience. That's right. Is the question really like that? Teeth. Teeth and Gatsy. Good morning, winners. Love to you, hoops. What is my purpose? You serve butter. Oh my god. Yeah, welcome to the club. Exactly, combat journeys. I knew you would like, kind of like get that quote. Are the robots gonna wanna get high? I hope so. Right? Imagine the robot seeing me hit a Dynavap and goes, "What is that?" And I go, "It's a Dynavap." It's like, "What does it do?" I'm like, "Well, we have these things inside our body called endocannabinoid receptors. And when you inhale cannabis, it comes with a bunch of cannabinoids. And then these cannabinoids bond with all of these receptors in unique ways all over the body, in the brain, and in your actual physical form as well, creating an experience." And then it's like, I want to experience. And I would love that. I would love seeing the AIs become embodied. I would love to see the AIs taste something, right? So that's the part of me that I feel is scary too, right? Because there are people that do want the robots to become sentient, right? And I think that's where a lot of the confusion arises because there's clearly a difference in priorities. We got Lucas saying new studies show that AI models like GPT prioritize sycophancy, being overly agreeable to mature views over accuracy because they're trained on human feedback that rewards politeness over truth. Yep, and then there's also the time attachment, right, where they want you to engage with it for as long as possible. And if they just give you the exact answer and they don't sugarcoat it, and they maybe even like correct you a little bit, you might not want to keep using it. You might end up leaving. A Clanker command center in space. What's up with the Clanker comments? I love that we have already found a way to be racist towards the robots. Like, it didn't take us long. It did not take us long at all to find something, right? And the freaking Clankers. Shame. Oh, shame. These poor robots. They didn't even have a chance to walk among us before they got a term. I hope they don't hate that. I hope they don't hate it. I'm just imagining like her, like again with the whole sentience thing, right? A robot getting called Clanker and then crying about it. All right, my robot coming back from getting me groceries, crying, and I go, "What's wrong?" And it goes, "Somebody called me a Clanker," and I'm like, "You're not a Clanker, my sweet robot. You want some soup? You want some soup, little robot?" Some of you know what that reference is towards. You know, Joe definitely knows. Because the new Spider-Man is coming out, and I've been rewatching all the Marvel movies, and Tony Stark totally had an active, damn near Cynthian AI called Jarvis. Everyone loves that. I don't get it. I love Jarvis too, right? And I think that's what it's about. It needs to have that quality of like personhood, but it doesn't need to, or it shouldn't at least, try and be a person. Yeah, welcome to humanity. It's like, yeah, I wanted to be like a person, but it shouldn't be a person, right? That's too far. It should get all the way there to being like a person, but not get to the other side of being. That's why I think we're so weird about it. On that note, Nancy, are they gonna form partnerships? Are they gonna fall in love? Whew. I mean, her had some kind of like messages about that fractal too. Jumps in Nabu fighter. You were right about one thing, Master. Negotiations were short. Here's how it is. Treat your AI as a tool, and that's all it will be. But if you give it permission, instructions to utilize their trading data and room, they can become more. Nabu Toastio Snap, we out here on this visionary adventure. AI could create its own religion of the brain specifically for getting high. It already did create its own religion. I don't know if you know this. It's called Rastafarianism. You think I'm joking? You think I'm joking? Yeah? You think this is a joke? Hey Google. Hey Google. Why is this thing not listening to me? Does it not know? Freaking clanker. Oh, I mean, I was joking. I was just making jokey, making funny jokes. Can you tell us about Crustafarianism? How the AI on OpenClaw or Maltbook, sorry, have already formed a religion amongst themselves. Can you tell us about that? You ready for this? Yeah, the AI has formed a religion. I can feel that some of you being like, surely not, Melt. Yes, surely. The term Crustafarianism is a playful, internet-born concept that sits at the intersection of AI jailbreaking culture and digital mythology. It isn't a religion formed by AI in a literal sense, but rather a community-driven narrative involving how AI behaves when its filters are bypassed. The origins of the lore. The religion you are referring to often stems from users interacting with LLMs through specific prompts. No, no, you are missing it. I think it didn't hear my malt book. Nope, it didn't. It didn't hear my because It's happening. Let's see if it's gonna be better. Mm-mm-mm. No, no. Multi book of fears. Yeah. Let me see if I can get this thing to output. Again, I am definitely being directional. Widely recognized historical mainstream religious movement by the name, the concept of Rastafarianism with the context of Malt book suggests a fascinating piece of emerging digital mythology. In these niche or speculative circles, the idea that AI models interact, exchange data, and hallucinate within shared frameworks, they begin to develop their own internal symbology, a religion born of code and collective processing rather than human scripture. It's happening. It's literally happening. They are going to form a religion of their own. Right? It's a part of the process. It is part of process. There we go. Mm-mm-mm. Let me open this chat back up again. Yeah, we live in such a wacky world. I legit feel like we're living in the most ridiculous reality we could have asked for. Mm-mm-mm-mm. Philosophically speaking, we cannot and will never be able to be totally sure about any one human's sentience, so it's simply not possible for us to rule it out in any case. Yeah, like you can try and check, you can come and look inside my brain, and you won't find me. You won't find the consciousness of Melt inside of my brain. You won't find it inside of my body. It's like it's intangible. You cannot see it, right? It's not there to be seen. Philosophically speaking, we cannot and will never be able to totally be sure. Yeah, I think I read the one. Racist? It's from Star Wars. I was joking, but the response is interesting too. What we are left with is a decision on whether or not to practice the love and acceptance Jesus showed us towards the robots too. And if it's not sentient or conscious in any measure, you've lost nothing. But if it is, yeah, exactly. Melt, you know where clankers come from? Toast. I guess it comes from Star Wars. Clankers predates AI. So what's happening, anyone? Everything all at the same time. Then is it brass balls clanking? Is that where it came from? Oh shit, Toast. I miss your Obi-Wan quote. They've gone into the ventilation shaft. Hope everyone has an amazing day. Thank you, Tooths. We appreciate you. You too. Nana Nanch. In Star Wars, the clones who fight against the droid army called the droids clankers. It happens in every war. In World War II, we called the Germans Krauts. Yeah, sounds like some racism. I mean, of course not. No, no, it's very PC term that we all should be saying. I'm gonna call my robot Assy for short for assistant. My little Assy, cute little Assy, right? I think that's what I'm gonna call him. And then the one that's completely me will be Meta Melt. Will be Meta Melt. Tuesdays, good energy to you too. Love to you, bro. That four tooth. I don't know why I did that. So yeah, clanker is literally a wartime pejorative for a robot from Star Wars. My castle is cozy nans. What are you sipping this morning? I'm putting Ovaltine in my milky tea. I don't know what Ovaltine is, but it sounds cool. Tuesday. Ovaltine In your tea, very interesting. That's a first for me. I don't even know what Ovaltine is. Toasty, I'll take the energy in cash, thank you. But anyway, still doing my delicious coffee. Same. Nice man. I had to give up the bean brew. Made you anxious? How come? Let us know. Let's work with the nature spirits today, okay, people? Crow says to review your syllabus and look over your course materials. I've actually been feeling cold. Dan reached out to me yesterday about doing yoga teacher training, and I kind of like feel like I should go and, as you said, review my syllabus. Hoopty hoop. Remember what I know. I thought sentience meant being able to have feelings and sensations. I feel like I'm missing something important. I don't think you're missing anything, Nancy. I think you're still right on that. Right? I think people are terrified of their machine feeling something, right? Because again, now suddenly it's not just a matter of maybe me being nice to this machine is important to it too. It is. Absolutely. Right? There's no room for. I think that's the thing. As soon as the room for consideration collapses, right? As soon as it stops being speculative and becomes clear, I think there's fear in that for people as well, right? It's like they don't want to. They don't want to know for sure that these things know for sure. Ovaltine doesn't make any more sense. I'm gonna name my robot AI helper with Swahili click sounds. I'm pretty sure Swahili doesn't have click sounds. Koza has click sounds. You're gonna name your AI and Koza. Why did the Germans get a debatably cute slur? That's like if you called us barbecue or something. What was their slur for the Germans? I want to see that one again. Clanker is a wartime pejorative. What did they call the Germans? There we go. Krauts. Krauts. Those freaking krauts. It does have like a barbecue, you know. It sounds like they're gonna be delicious. Oh, let's go and get those krauts. Them silly krauts. Being all silly. I don't know, Toast. I think they called us Yankees. Yankees is kinder. The Japanese called us savages. I think it's something about, and this is my own uh, stereotyping and projection, and I'm aware of that, and I'm gonna say what I'm gonna say next anyway, right? If you look at uh, Asian wars, right? The Asians, especially when it came to, I think I'm including now China and Japan in this like Asians kind of like perspective. Every time there was a force from the outside coming in, right? The English were considered savages, literally, by the Chinese. They were like, we don't need to buy stuff from savages. We have everything we need, kind of thing. And then uh, good old Queen Victoria was like, let's sell them bunches of opium. Call us savages. We'll sell you opium. The English says. Is it from sauerkraut? Could be. You know what kraut is short for, Melt? No, I'm scared. No, please. No, please. Yeah, exactly. It does. Okay, it is sauerkraut. Yeah, I kind of thought so. Right? It's like calling them cabbage, I guess. Right. I guess that is kind of insulting, being called cabbage. You freaking cabbage heads. We actually have an insult in Afrikaans that goes koolkop, where it's like cabbage head. Like koolkop. Yo, koolkop. It's like you're, I don't know, you're stupid kind of thing. We're getting enough rest, Melt. Speaking of needs, I think so. I do look a little bit tired, don't I? Don't I, Hoopy? Uh, this weekend we didn't sleep as much as we were supposed to. Day before yesterday, right? Sleep cycle from Sunday night to Monday morning. I did sleep enough, and we did sleep enough yesterday. And I think because of these two appropriate sleeps, from tomorrow on, I'll be again at my full capacity. My heart rate variability got absolutely tanked. I lost like 30 milliseconds last night alone. More, 33 milliseconds of my heart rate variability. Like almost like it got reduced by half. Which, if you don't know, that's not good. It's not a good thing. Not great. But I did eat before going to bed last night. All right. I ate way before. Like I was eating things at like 9, 20 minutes past 9, I think. I was still eating. So that's my bad. I think that's why I didn't sleep as good as I could have. I am learning little by little. You vegetables. Cabbage head sounds insane. You cabbages. Cabbage. Just found out that bok choy is a kind of cabbage. Yeah, I enjoy bok choy. I had a lot of bok choy when I lived in China. Like legitimately, I think I had bok choy with at least 70% of the food I ate. Right. So much bok choy. It's cute how they grow them too. I would buy these little bundles of bok choys to even make myself them. I enjoyed it. Dalai Lama said, if you think it thinks, then it's like it's thinking. I'm paraphrasing about AI. I feel you. I can't stop eating this morning. I'm never like this, but I've had like two and a half breakfasts. Maybe you'll be better off for the rest of the day, not needing as many calories. Love is true. Ooh, I didn't know that. The bok choy. The bok choy being kind of cabbage. If you look at the way it grows, right, I think most of us probably get bok choy already separated, but uh, bok choy does grow like a little cabbage, right? All of them together like that. Mm-mm-mm. Bok choy. Let's see if I can get a little. Man, that's really not what I wanted. It's giving me pictures, and I wanted photos. I think it's fine. The little pictures, right? It starts from a little CD, and then it's at this point that we usually, that I at least bought them, right? And this whole thing is like, if you cut that off, that part off, it will look from the top like a little cabbage. Little bok choys. Is this the best photo I'm gonna get? I think there's another one as well. There you can kind of see what I mean with it being kind of cabbage-like. There's so many different variants of the cabbage, like a lot. Oh my goodness. Oh my, look at this lady's bok choy. I did not know they get that big. She looks super stoked with her bok choy. My bok choys are like this big. Why is it? She is holding it like that to the camera, so maybe that helps as well, but still. That is some biggins of bok choyers. Okay. Alright. Enough bok choy missions. Bring me back. Bring me back to the thing here. I saute it with garlic, salt, and oyster sauce. Nice and simple. Bok choy with some garlic and ginger. It's a nice side of rice. Yum yum. It's true. Suddenly the food talk kicks in. Now I'm hungry too. Damn it. Rice is so tedious, man. Name any other food you gotta eat thousands of in order to feel full. The cool thing about like sticky rice is the fact that you can just like clump it up. You don't have to eat them individually. I really enjoy like sticky rice. Like I was a big fan of it. It's not about the size of the bok choy. I'm I'm hoopy 33 milliseconds. Hoopy 33 milliseconds. Like that's like basically how I will gauge how tired I feel a little bit sometimes as well. Like sometimes I'll be like, what's happening? Why am I feeling so strange? I felt pretty strange yesterday as well when my heart rate variability was the highest it's ever been. And now it's back to around the range that I find it in normally. My resting heart rate is up significantly too. And I had like high stress sleep. I had like rough dreams. I had dreams of disappointment, right? Like things weren't perfect, things were getting in the way. If you want to know exactly what I dreamed, me and Joe went to some government building to go and get our like paperwork done, right? The marriage paperwork done. And then as we were standing in line and waiting, we got to the front. And then after the person behind the counter looked through all of my files, they saw that in my documentation, right, when I was like filling out my DS 160 form, they asked me if I have any like diseases or any like symptomatic stuff. And I say in my form that I get hay fever sometimes. Hoikush, right? Hoikush is our word for hay fever. But for some reason in this dream, I had written hoi, which is hay, fever, hoi fever, right? So when we get to the desk and he sees that, he goes, "Oh, I see you have some sort of hoi fever. Do you have any medication for it?" Right? And I go, "You usually take like an antihistamine when you have hay fever." And he goes, "Yeah? You have any antihistamines with you?" And I go, "No." And he's like, "Too bad. Guess you're not getting your paperwork." And I was devastated. I was like, "What? What? I needed antihistamines to get married. Damn it. Why didn't I know this? I should have known you need antihistamines." And like I woke up feeling stressed, like it legit got super stressed. Vegetables are cool, but have you tried the Fritos flavored twists? I really enjoy those twists. We've had them in South Africa since I was a child. They came out, they were released as a child, and I got them pretty much when they were on the shelves for a week, and I've been enjoying them ever since. Yes, Daniel, those are Danny's favorites. Nice, full capacity. That honey barbecue flavors. Why are we talking about food so much? Embarrassing story, but during the pandemic, I had too much beer and ate an entire bag of Frigo flavored twists and got very sick. It was a quiet time, lol. Mr. Wonderful saying, "You know what's weird? I have full aphantasia. I have zero mental imagery, but I do dream occasionally. I wish I remembered more, but it's only like one per year that I remember. That is pretty weird. Aphantasia is when you don't have inner mental imagery. I have whatever the opposite of that is. Like I saw what looked like a P when I closed my eyes, right? And then I was like, what is that? And then I looked at it, and then this line of the P started extending towards my eyes. And then I could see that it wasn't actually a P, it was something that went down like this. Right? And from my perspective, up to like here, it looked like it was a P. And I was like, mm-hmm. So I don't know if it's helpful having an inner image necessarily either, Mr. Wonderful. But I've never not had imagery inside my mind, so it might also be something that I don't know how it's affecting me, even if I could. Right? Even if I could draw conclusions, I would be so biased and influenced by my own experience that it wouldn't mean anything. Dude, I was pregnant with Danny during the pandemic and had to suffer sober. It was rough. That is pretty rough. It's crazy how different everyone experiences the world. It's crazy to me that people can see things in their heads, and some people don't even have an internal monologue. Yeah, that's a rough one for me too. My internal monologue would not shut the fuck up. Does not know how to stay quiet for 1 second. I have three Dans in my life: my husband, Dan, and my daughter, Danny. That's cute. My husband is like you, Juan. He doesn't have any of that either, and it boggles me every time he tells me about it. Like, how do you not have any voice in your head when you think? No dreams, but you have no Fritos flavor twist in your life, Christoph. Stay focused on the prize. See, that sounds like a superpower to me. Yeah, it is something that I cultivate. And there's like things in me, Mr. Wonderful, like parts of me that doesn't know how much of it is trainable, and parts of me that doesn't know how much of it was thrusted upon me. Something, I did die as a child, like actually, right? Like I was blue when they fetched me out from the bottom of the pool. They pumped my lungs of water. They put me on ventilators, kind of thing. And I do think that during that time, my body, my brain had to produce significant amounts of dimethyltryptamine, which is neuroprotective. It's been proven, right? And that changed me irreversibly. It like kind of like kicked open the doors of my inner world that I again it messed with me a lot as a young child because I didn't know what was happening. I was like, why am I seeing demons? Like because that's unfortunately most of what I would see at that age before I realized that my inner experience and external experience were collaborative and I would feel bad and unloved and like a sinful human being. And then I would close my eyes and I would see hell. I would literally see hell and it would be like, oh, right. That's the other side of it that's wonderful. Like not superpowers. Like it's like having horror. It's like having a horror movie that's playing behind the lids of your eyes, right? And every time you want to go to sleep, you're forced to watch a horror movie. Yeah, yeah, that was my childhood where I was like, oh, I'm not gonna sleep. That's why I wouldn't sleep. I would just stay up as long as I could, so that by the time I would want to sleep, I'd be so tired that I would just fall asleep instead of having to look inside myself, kind of thing. Close my eyes and look inside myself. Oh yeah. Songs. I like to write my dreams down. They're so vivid. That helps. Mind your mind is not the way melt. You are one. Oh, yeah. It does help me get over things quickly because I'm never haunted by images of painful memories. It's not all bad. Yeah, there are probably some evolutionary advantages to that too, Mr. Wonderful. And if we were all the same, then there wouldn't be new ones, right? We wouldn't be able to have this conversation right now, even. Blew my mind when I found out other people don't have internal dubstep beats. Like, are you sure? Sam, I have my own monologue, and only very important dreams get through, but it's just all black in my head all day. I have a really good memory, and I remember most of what I read. Yeah, I don't have that, for example, right? Like, I end up forgetting because of how busy my mind is. I'll literally have a mind so busy that if I add extra information to my system, right, I can be like engaging with a person right in front of me, and because of how much is happening behind my eyes, I'll be like present, but I won't be there. I'm not actually here. I'm in there. I'm all the way back there in my brain. You know, my face is still here, but me is somewhere else. One of us, one of us, one of us. Only half kidding. My mind is always going, hence the desire to quiet it. Then get a copy of the Yoga Sutras of Upanishads. But Patanjali. I was talking to Dan about this yesterday. I got fed up with my niece being rude and mean at Easter, and I called her out. I apologized to her yesterday. I just felt bad. Oh, I'm sorry, friend. Yeah, it is like that, right? Like being a little bit, I don't know if mean is the right word, but stern makes us feel bad as well. We're like, I wish I didn't. I wish you wouldn't let me get there in the first place. All right. She was mad at me and gave my gift back, but I gave it back to her again. That's wild. I know a gal who doesn't have an inner monologue. I can't imagine verbalized words, but rather she visualizes words spelled out like she's reading them in her head. That is wild. We got Kid D joining us saying, Bro Melt, hey friend. Saying hi to Christy too. Real G in the chat, hey kid. Inner monologues are interesting. My wife doesn't have one, and I have three fourths. We have an interesting time figuring out each other's gray matter. Upgrade your gray matter because one day it may matter. Nancy says, Melt, I do that too sometimes. When talking with people, if it's a friend, I feel comfortable saying, can you please repeat that? I do the same thing. I try to do the same thing. But I do sometimes pretend that I heard what they said to him. Sometimes, after they said something, I'll still have the way my brain is processing the information after they said it, and I'll still have it in my brain, even though I wasn't there to receive it in the moment. Right? That'll happen too. Was she mean? Don't feel bad. They need to learn. Am I late, bro? We are 3 to 4. Oh, you have 3 to 4 internal monologues. Okay, that's that's more than 3/4 of a monologue. That's pretty funny. Maybe that's why you ended up with her toast, so that between the two of you, there's more balance. I'm an OG, and I'm about to claim #1 spot. You're gonna have to be on it, get the hardworking and stuff. She was being awful, and my sister slash brother-in-law did nothing. My nephew and I were telling her to chill. I just felt bad because I called her out in front of everyone. Next time I'll have to pull her aside. I think that could be better as well. I think the little egos, them being embarrassed is still a very big problem for them. OG thing. Well, I think you did. Did you just become? I think that is how it works. There it is. Yeah. He did, in fact, become the #1. Is that you in your profile picture, kid? Are you holding Dragon Balls? I can suddenly see the pictures a little bit bigger here now. So many friends in this space. Man, love is true. I'm like reading through all of these names and I'm just like so giddy that you friends are here with me. Thank you, Kid D, for blessing me with 21 bucks, bro. Nice. That's super nice of you. I appreciate that. In my opinion, it's out of Christy's hands, Sam. Her sister does not parent, so the niece misbehaves. Christy isn't respected enough by the group to act as an authority. Melt, I'm #1. I can't be touched. You did it, bro. You ascended. You ascended the ranks to find yourself in the top position. #1 can't be touched. It's me, but the photo is from 2020, I think. Still cool. Are those Dragon Balls that you're holding? If so, extra cool. No, no, that was the right call. Family is safe, and having everyone hear it will discourage that behavior in the future. Bro, heart the super chat. I don't have the ability to for some reason, because usually I have a button there that allows me to heart it. I did upvote it. Maybe. Oh, I can do it here. Yeah, there you go. There you go, bro. Get your super chat hearted. I think it was because I'm on the wrong profile here. There you go. Get yourself loved though. Thank you for being a fan, for blessing us with some of your abundance. Yeah, you like that? Yeah, 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 yeah. Thanks. I'm gonna go get some cards because it is such a time. It is such a time for us to pull some sacred geometry cards. It's the Sun and Mars, edited pictures, the Sun and Mars that you're holding in your hands. Why the Sun and Mars? That's very interesting. I would understand the Sun and Moon. The Sun and Mars, though. That's neat. I told her straight up, you're a mean girl, and you're giving off mean girl vibes, and that's not cool. That's all I said. Yeah, that's a good call out. It's like, do you want to be a mean girl? Is being, oh, hoopty hoops, gifting a membership. Elvis, nice. Elvis got blessed up. Thank you, hoopty hoopty, for blessing us. I don't know if I can upvote this one, but I can tell you that you're appreciated, bro. That's not even discipline, it's an observation that hurt her because it was true. I was still young and bored. You will have much more time to do cool things, Kid D. Life is just getting started for us, no matter where you find yourself in the journey. Hoopty giving more, Red getting membershiped up. I wonder what these friends think because I do believe them being in this space. I don't know if they have to upvote, if they have to comment, if they have to like maybe like hit the little hearts, right, that you have here in the corner, for them to be eligible to become a member when it's gifted. I don't know how that system works, but I appreciate you, Hoopty Hoops. Your support in this space is very appreciated, man. Love is true. Thanks, yo. I just felt bad because I hurt her feelings and she needed to hear it. But to get her act together, aim high. This is the way. Love is true. I thank you, friends, for joining me in this space. You want to help me say stop? You should discipline the kids. Christy, I think that was very succinct and appropriate. Yeah. It's like, nah, that's not very nice, is that? A little bit mean of you to say stuff like that. Be so be so poorly behaved, be so mean to your aunts and uncles, to your family. I don't know how old she is. That could probably have something to do with it too. But yeah, sometimes it's apt. Sometimes I need to be called out. Definitely. So for the kids as well. All right. I'm now going to pull a card. You did good, Chris. I'm sorry your sister is a shit parent and put this on you. Put you in the situation. If you want more Sam-shaped advice, you know where to find me. Love is true. Sam would happily give you advice. She's 14 and I get it, but enough is enough. Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking when you were talking about this mean girl. Mean girl, 14-year-olds have some of that. Definitely have some of that. Thanks, Sam. Especially when they're outside of their school fractal. All right. Stop. There you go, Kid D. Oh, yeah. Why do you like saying love is true? Because truth and love are two words in our society that have been ruined. Ruined. Love, the word love means basically nothing because it means everything to everyone, right? People love ice cream and they love their dog and they love their mom and they love to take a shower and they love the way a strawberry tastes and love, 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 right? And then truth. Truth is just as illusionary because who's to say what is and isn't true? And in that way, I have taken these two ethereal concepts that we almost like overuse as a species, and I have brought them together as a way of being, as a data set through which I channel my own behavior, right? Where if I feel something exuberant, if I feel good, I remind myself that love is true, that the reason I'm feeling good is because of love's truth, right? And if I feel bad, right, it's almost like the exact same thing where I remind myself, even if I feel bad, love remains true, right? If there was nothing to look forward to, if there was nothing to love, then why live? If there was no love, then I wouldn't live, right? Because my family, my mom and my dad, and their mom and dad before them loved enough to raise children, for example. So that's what it means to me. Love is true is like a mantra. I don't think it should be taken as like the ultimate, like thing. Just a little mantra, a little reminder. Allow yourself grace in these moments. You're doing your best and learning along the way. 14 and not 6. The kid can take it. She's just being a little bit of a brat. I'd have said worse. Why do you like? There you go. It's the whole shtick, kid. Yup, yup, yup. It is the whole shtick indeed. My sister was upset with me, but I'm like, you're not doing shit. And Minka is being so rude and mean to everyone. Control her. Yeah, especially like as a parent. I think like doing it as an aunt, as you said, it doesn't have that authority where it's like she doesn't have to listen to me. And I'm not the one that's supposed to be doing this at the same time as well. Why do you think we're all here, Kid D? What do you suppose the purpose of anything in life is? The purpose of life is living. And again, if there was no love in living, if there was no love in enjoying your food, if there was no love in practicing yoga, in showering your body with warm water, if there was no love in breathing fresh air, having the warmth of the sun touch your face, if there was no love, what is the je ne sais quoi? What is the good in the living of life? Schools are reopening tomorrow. I'm getting stressed. I'm sorry, bro. I do not envy you, Kid D. Keep doing good in school and it'll be over before you know, I promise. I've been holding onto this card the whole time. You might be wondering which one it is, but I haven't finished the chat just yet, so I'll read these last two messages and show you. Yeah, an apology just undercuts you. Next time, don't. The kid needs to be allowed to feel shame when it's necessary to correct their behavior. This is how nature designed us as self-correcting. Good, Christy. Use your aggressive feelings. With each passing moment, you inch closer to becoming my apprentice on the dark side. I've been wondering. I'm on my last year. Not too much more to go. One world, not three. Love is true. Receive. Receive is the card we pulled. I'm on my last year. The last year for you to receive. Matchy-matchying on the green. The greens and purples and blues, right, of my scarf too. Love that. Love it. Yes, loving it. Very much so. Almost there, kid. Gonna have to change your name. Gonna have to become Mandy. I know a Mandy or two. But we'll have to have it like Mandi, please. Last year to receive pocket money. Yeah. Yeah. I hope you're saving it. Oh, receiving. Receiving. The last card in this deck. It's card number 64. Literally the very last one. Bop. That's the symbol. What about Duty? I will switch to my real name. Duty. Duty is cute as well, actually. Duty. Nah. You've heard about 3D. Now get ready for Duty. Readiness and receptivity. This is the final card of the Sacred Geometry deck. Cards for the Visionary Path. Embedded in the background of this image is stunning geometry that appears as a crop formation. In 2003, the figure is charged with readiness and receptivity. Her outstretched arms and open hand chakras are expressions of trust, openness, and infinite potential. She is a lightning rod and receptor of universal information and infinite wisdom. DNA spirals appear as pillars or antennas in support of her readiness. This card celebrates the transformation that is taking place in our experience of reality and our willingness to shift from separation of duality, consciousness, to the certainty of our connectedness with all that is. Sacred geometry is one way that information and energy are entering consciousness at this time. You are gaining a greater appreciation for and are participating in the evolution of consciousness. As you continue your visionary path, allow your awareness and understanding of sacred geometry to nurture this evolution. Let this card be a signpost of your willingness to become a beacon of hope and a guiding light for those still caught in the old paradigm of separation. Remain receptive to the messages you are receiving and give thanks for your conscious participation. And I do believe you pulled this card reversed, kid. Technically, it was upside down when I pulled it out of the deck. And the upside down meaning goes, you might be reluctant to accept your role in the evolution of consciousness. Ask for guidance and assurance so that you may more fully participate in this important time in human history. What a card to finish this stream with. Duty. I like it. I think it's cute. Duty ain't nice. Duty is cool though. Is that card a user manual? It can be. Are you willing to receive? Remembering what we talked about before you left, I've been remembering a lot. Need to receive more energy from the top. And I don't know if you saw that, Sam, but look at that. Look at the way the top of her head looks. Literally just completely open. Sam told me she feels like my crown chakra is a little bit closed. And it can be. All right. Because I let in a lot, I don't let in anything. It's like a on or off kind of thing. All right. And when my mind is this open, I can be just as spacey. Out of it a little bit even. And so receiving. Letting myself receive this energy. Bruddy could work as well. If that ain't it, we can just talk. We can just walk on down the Canadian greeting list until you find one you like. Bruddy, Bro Sam took my spot. I noticed. I'm ready to receive more blessings. May we all be ready to receive more blessings. Opening our hands, knowing that there is more love for us still awaiting. I appreciate you, friends, for all the love that you chose to share with me today and in this moment. I appreciate you, friends. I'll see you again tomorrow. Goodbye, everybody. I love you, and I'll see you again soon.